the Daily Drama Podcast with Stephen Bradford.
Together again.
Together again. Look at this.
Wow, look, we're back in a dressing room together where it all started. Actually, this is where the podcast all started.
Not in this dressing room.
No, not this room, but this
you're...
exact way. This is how we did it. This is how we started the podcast. And now it's on dailydrama.com.
That's right.
Which is
Speaking
amazing.
of dailydrama.com, if you haven't been over there yet, it's, you know, things that you might expect from a soap opera website, right? You get your comment, you get your spoilers, your recaps, stories, but then there's other stuff that you're going to be like, what?
There is other stuff. Let me add to that right now. So they put a counter of my first air date on the site.
A countdowner.
A countdowner.
Countdowner.
Yeah, a countdowner. But also it's because I'm going to give away 3 black t-shirts. Signed 3 black signed t-shirts. Make sure you get on the list, the email list there.
That is cool.
March 4th is the air date, and we'll pick some winners, and you'll get your t-shirt.
What day of the week is March 4th?
And I'll spray some cologne on there too, just like this.
What kind of cologne is that?
Smell it. Oh, you like that, girl?
Is it made by Axe?
Girl, no, dude, this is really nice, man.
Ooh, that is
really
nice. That is nice. Stepping
like
up your
this smell?
game. I like it. Just for me. I want to see what
right now. Yeah,
I want to see what the day of the week March 4th is.
That's a good idea.
Well, just because here's what I'm thinking.
What are you thinking, buddy?
If your first air date is like just
Monday.
Oh, it's a Monday. That's a good sign, because if it was a Friday, like imagine if it's like, yay, it's your first air date, and they like show your face at the end.
Right. Then you're like, now I gotta wait 2 more days.
Right.
But now we have a whole week of stuff. So, because I've been here working a lot. Good story. Can't really talk about it, but we've alluded to it that it's going to be good, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Good to be back in the building.
Yeah. Well, and
it's good to be acting again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love hearing you saying that.
It's really
you love to talk about how much you don't care.
You don't
about
like acting?
Yeah.
That's not true necessarily.
No, I know, but do you know what I mean? Like it's
not true. But it's it reinvigorates when you go back to do something else,
for sure.
Or when you leave and do something else.
Yeah.
You're coming back, you kind of have a plan of how you're going to play things. Got a few notes from the head writers, and here we go.
It smells like a Macy's in here.
Now
right
it smells like a really nice Macy's. I love it.
Well, it's interesting. It now, like, because of our schedule, and people know, I think they know, we do a lot in a week, and we've been doing more in a week than we have in the last 5 years, 5-6 years. We do more than we ever have in a day, and it's so that we can take time off to save the whole production money. And so we're about to take 2 weeks off.
Correct. Yeah. So it is 2 weeks for sure.
I think so.
Okay. I wasn't sure because of some schedule that were moved, some dark weeks that were moved. So I want to confirm. I want to
confirm that.
Yeah.
Well, because it also makes me feel good about not having any hold dates for next week.
So dumb. You're just waiting for.
Well, yeah.
I'm in.
Well,
I think we're gonna have some stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing I can say is, of all the stuff that you've been doing, it has not been with me.
Not yet.
So yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
But you're.
I'm in the surroundings.
In the universe.
I'm in the universe for sure.
You're in the universe.
I got so many other people to work with. I mean, I'm excited to work with you. Yes, but I'm in so many other storylines.
I'm sure there's a lot of people ahead of me to work with.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm sure. They're outside right now. They're all lined up.
Yep.
To come in here to do the podcast.
That's right.
Let's see who's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, no one. It's okay.
Yeah. No, it's funny. We were looking forward to having, when we started our podcast, we could really just kind of stick our head out the door and be like, "Oh, hey, you, come on in, talk to us."
And we were going to do that today.
We're going to do that today. We haven't figured out quite how. This is a new room for you. This is not the room you were in before.
Mm-hmm.
And the setup that we used the first time around,
which I brought the equipment.
Oh, you did. Thanks, buddy.
It all. Yep.
Is not necessarily conducive to video. And I would say most people now are watching our podcast,
So?
I would guess. Well, just because when I upload the audio to for all you people that listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeart or wherever you listen, I think there's more people watching the YouTube feed.
Okay.
So so I feel like we have to, because when we first started this, we weren't we didn't have a video version of it really. It was secondary.
Yes, correct.
Sometimes we'd get it, but then we'd use it mostly for promotion, like to show
To promote the
Yeah.
actual podcast. Yeah.
right. It wasn't the primary purpose, but now, and this is why we picked this beautiful screen. So I mean, this is why we look so great right now.
Why? Because of the filter on here?
Well, no, I just mean we're on
The lighting's good.
yeah, we're on a couch with a pink pillow.
Yeah.
And people, so like when we say dressing rooms, I think people imagine that they're going to be a little more.
Well, I haven't started yet.
Let's be real. Your
Let's be real.
your dressing room last time didn't ascend to anything other, like people still thought we were in a bathroom.
That's true, because we put people in front of the door in the mirror here, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, they're doing a podcast in the bathroom."
Right.
So I think they're getting me a new couch,
Okay.
and she said she's going to get me a rug.
Okay.
So I'm going to
like
get
an area rug.
Yeah, I'm going to get a
Okay.
few lights in here, lamps.
Okay.
I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try to be different this time.
What's the title of the? You don't have to tell me the name of the person, but what's the title of the person that you ask of those things?
Set designer.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they offered their services for your.
Well, they
dressing
don't. They don't.
That's fair. Well, because like I when we say dressing rooms, I think maybe people imagine.
Listen, I'm going to say this. At Days,
Yeah.
people had to redo their own dressing rooms.
Sure.
They're allowed to.
Oh, okay.
Like, we couldn't come in here and paint if we wanted to, because I don't know, union something, studio liability.
I think you can hang things up.
You can hang things up, right? But there, the room I was in there was so old.
Yeah.
Like, the couch was literally 35 years old.
Sheesh.
Like, it was not great. Like,
Right.
everything in there was wonky and gonna break and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And some people who've been there for a while, like Galen, he totally redid his room himself.
Right.
Beautiful, nice wood tile floor. Like, everything really looked good. So in here,
Wow. Really? Like
he
brought it-
tiled it. He did everything. Like, it was nice. Like, full furniture, everything.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because you're in here all the time.
Yeah.
So, but here, what they will do is every now and then they will change the carpet if it's not great.
Sure.
They will replace the couch.
Right.
They will throw a paint job on here. This one looks pretty new though.
Yeah, it does.
And so they try to keep it up to date a little bit.
But I'm just curious, when people imagine dressing rooms, I'm not sure if they picture like the old movies where there are dressing rooms in a theater where there's like the mirror with the light bulbs.
Sure. Well, I mean, we kind of have it, but
Yeah.
like over at Y&R and B&B, they would put that in their deals back in the day.
Oh, interesting.
They would go, "Hey, I need a whole redo on my dressing room, remodel." And you
Sure.
go in, it's freaking marble, countertops. It's just like,
Wow.
but that's not what happens here.
Maybe what we should do is pitch a Reno show for
Or makeover dressing room. Somebody did that already.
How long
I've seen
ago?
it. I think I've seen it.
How long ago?
I mean, not recent, but
We gotta talk to our friends in the media. This is a show we gotta do.
this is not a show anybody wants to see.
I disagree.
Come on, man.
Well, maybe just
Well, we'll just do it with my room.
yeah, and maybe I don't know. Maybe ABC could use some.
I did
digital
take some
content.
video of before of it empty, so we can,
It's pretty much the same.
Well, I mean, there's some stuff scattered. You know how
I
we do
mean,
it.
shoes on the counter. That's
Yeah, those are just continuity.
well, it is nice. It is nice to have you back in the building.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
It feels good.
Yeah, it's good.
And so we'll figure out how to rearrange this room to be ideal for filming. I think we have some ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really does behoove us to be flexible, to be able to grab people here.
Yeah.
So that's really what we have to figure out.
We may need to buy some.
But then it's the editing is going to be when we did Laura,
Mhm.
we used
three camera setup that they supplied for us. So I think we can use. We may need to invest in two cameras, like two, and
sure,
and then
sure.
Because we're getting into the weeds here.
Let's go. Move on.
yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. All right. Well, so our friends at Daily Drama asked you all for some questions, and so now we have those. So if you have questions for us in the future, keep an eye out. Go to dailydrama.com. Get on the mailing list for sure. That makes you
Yes.
eligible for giveaways, like the giveaway that Steve talked about. But they're going to be very active, asking for things like this.
Yeah, and they love giveaways.
They sure do.
And giveaways are fun.
I think so.
Like so, because I've been cleaning out my garage and I found in a box Stone Cold and Jackal, brand new Stone Cold and Jackal holiday coffee mug.
Oh wow!
So I was like, maybe we could give that away.
Oh, that's great.
Then I found a couple of Maurice's books that I had bought
Sure.
to have him sign. Maybe we can give some of those away.
So we'll just call it the spring cleaning giveaway.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's it.
Amazing. So thank you for submitting your questions. I think these were mostly from the Daily Drama Facebook page, or maybe their Instagram too. So yeah. Well, we'll just start at the top. So this is from handle DML67. I don't know what your name is. I'm so sorry. Steve, excited for your return to GH. They're curious as to whether the new writing team or the prior writing team is responsible for crafting Jason's return story.
Well, yeah, I mean, how I could, I guess, frame that is Elizabeth Cordy's been in the building as long as I have.
Yeah.
So she's always been a part of the writing team.
Totally.
In multifaceted ways. She was, I think she was pretty instrumental in my character changing in the 90s.
Right.
So she's real familiar with the history. And I think once she was promoted to head writer, along with Patrick, I think they crafted the return story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and I'm so excited.
the head writer's going to craft it all and then delegate,
Right.
as we've talked about before.
Yeah, it is cool how the writing works, and I think probably my guess is different head writers have different kind of systems and different, like, because usually head writers do kind of the overarching story, the long story, have everything sketched out. Then it goes down to the breakdown writers and then the script writers. But then there's like
and an editor. Then there's an editor who edits everybody.
Right. But I know Elizabeth is a pretty incredible editor as well.
Yep.
So I wonder if it would be hard for her to give to delegate that, or if she'll come back around.
I can say this about her.
Yeah.
She lives and breathes this show.
Yes.
24 hours a day for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So she's on it.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
That's all I can say is, like, if I'm putting my trust into somebody for the characters, for the history of the show,
100%.
I'm like, Elizabeth, go, because she's amazing and she loves it. She loves the show.
And I remember some of the best stuff that I've had over the years. I know came out of her brain, and the conversations that I had with her over the years, especially in the 2006 to 2010 range.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited. So excited. Okay. Not a question, really more of a request. It would be awesome if Spinelli and Jason are roommates when Jason comes back. Don't you guys think that would be great? Well, this is from Curly. Well, that's quite a request. Well, first of all, we got to figure out where this guy's going to live.
Yeah. Cause last time I had an apartment somewhere.
Yeah.
And
was it
Carly went to Restoration Hardware and decorated it.
Was it a studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom?
It was a 1 bedroom.
All right. So, I mean, I could sleep on a couch, I suppose.
I mean, if we got a studio with bunks, that could work. That'd be funny.
Well, you know what would be awesome?
Like, I get home from a late night of killing people, and there you are.
But wouldn't it be great
top bunk
if we had? Okay, I'm taking this from like a Nickelodeon show, but say like I opened up like a I don't know, like a tech shop or something, and you would go into the tech shop and like push a button and then you'd slide down a pole, and then we'd have like a bat cave, and we'd live in the bat cave. That's really cool.
That would be cool.
And your motorcycle would have one of those cool exits out of like
100%
over a waterfall.
Yeah, no, we'd have to do it on the docks.
On the docks.
somewhere on the docks.
So then would you have to have like
We'd have all kinds of access. We'd have water access and land access.
you'd have a speedboat access?
Yes, it'd be amazing.
I'm
Who can we talk to?
I'm kind of not joking about this.
I wouldn't be joking either if I were you.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Well, it would make sense, right? Like if you and I were to do that,
Yeah.
it would make sense. It would be that type of place that was super secure,
Yes.
like high tech, everything.
Well, because if you're going to be like, who knows what you're going to be, but if you're going to
Batman.
right, but if you're going to be the kind of anything close to what you were before, you might be targeted. Like Jason's always going to be potentially have a
100%.
target on his back, whether he's trying to evade law enforcement or whether he's trying to
Sure.
elude someone who's trying to kill him. Why have a safe house that's not convenient?
No, why even? Because half the stuff's not even protected anyway.
Let's live underground.
Let's live underground
Yes.
for sure.
And we can have a little kaleidoscope that I can see when people are coming.
That might look funny. That does already. That looks funny already. I don't know if we want to put a kaleidoscope there. Is it a kaleidoscope? Is that what it's called?
Periscope.
Periscope. Thank you.
Kaleidoscope
Would have been even worse. Ahoy, mate!
That's
Land ahoy!
when you see
No,
like
I
a turn,
know.
you get
Yeah.
the shapes and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Ah, I'm getting old. Periscope. I knew it was a
Periscope, yeah.
scope. Okay.
Periscope's. It's a bad '60s show, dude.
Yeah.
Comes up. And it's like freaking Gilligan's Island back down. But it would be cool to do a high tech place.
Right?
Yeah, it'd be cool to have a lair.
I think we need a layer.
I would. I
All
would
right,
like
I'm
one.
calling Elizabeth.
Text her.
All right. So, well,
911.
yeah. So thank you, Curly. You may have just been started something really special, and expensive.
Yeah. But I would like that.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It's not just a fever dream. Like, hey, they should have. No, it makes sense.
Totally does.
All right. All right. Hey, Lulu 07211. That's an interesting last name, 07211. Steve, are you excited to hear? Yes, we're all excited about a new start for us, for the writers. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a fan who is seriously considering going back to GH. Okay, I hope so.
Come on back.
Come on back. We're here. The water's fine.
Mhm.
Hoping for a JSAM reunion. Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Bradford, do you support a Spinelli and Maxi reunion? Yes, I think. And if you've been watching lately,
Are we going that way?
I mean, we at least have scenes together. I mean,
Okay.
so I would just say, stay tuned.
Good.
Stay tuned.
Or tune in again.
That's right. Tune in again. Come back. Yes. Welcome back to GH. Bradford, what is your favorite Jason Spinelli scene? Ooh, okay. Favorite Jason Spinelli scene. We always talk about the Metro Court as like kind of the storyline.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I've talked about this scene lately. The first time they ever gave me anything of kind of a dramatic, not challenge, but just material and an opportunity to do dramatic stuff, was The Secret Pain. I don't know if you remember this scene. We were in Sonny's office. I was sitting in a chair and explaining to you why you should not keep up the facade that you were not somebody's dad, like Jake's dad.
Yeah, I remember this.
Right, because Lucky was like somebody else was to Jake was, you were not the public father. You were the
Who was it? Lucky?
I think as Liz and Lucky. I think.
Okay. All right.
Not that Lucky's a great father figure all the time.
Lucky?
I think Greg Vaughn. I think.
Okay.
Or maybe it was when Jonathan came back for a hot second.
No, it was somebody else. I thought it was.
But
I don't know. Go ahead though.
Right,
We
because
had emotional scenes.
Liz was the mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of Jake, yes.
Yes. And so I told you, don't do this.
Hold on 1 second. We're just doing a podcast. Is that okay? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I said don't
Live from Hollywood, California.
don't lie. Don't keep up this lie, because I grew up thinking that my grandparents were my parents. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, my parents didn't want me. And I didn't want that. I knew you wouldn't want that for your kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that for your kid as well. And so like I explain, and so it was like the first opportunity I had to find in my character a different side of him rather than just kind of being a hapless clown, for lack of a better word. So
I wouldn't say you're a hapless clown. Wow, that's a great description. IMDb. Brad Spinelli. What's your last? What is it? Damon Spinelli, hapless clown. Yeah. No.
But so I don't know if I would characterize that as like my favorite scene, but that's the one that came to mind when I was thinking about it.
And then we had so much. I mean, just we've done so many scenes together, obviously.
Yeah.
But Night Shift was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Someone brought that up at the con I just did in Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like, man, when I started these cons, it was probably 90% Cloud Strife and Final Fantasy, 10% GH.
Right.
Now the scales are tipping.
Oh, interesting.
We're getting.
Is it because you're coming back to the show, you think, or is it
I
just
don't know.
because?
I mean, it could be region also.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but it's getting more. And what we're finding is the mom was a GHer, obviously. This guy told me a very sweet story where him and his mom were kind of didn't get along, right, in his teen years.
Yeah.
And he was really into Final Fantasy, Cloud.
Yeah.
And then one day he's walking through the house and he hears my voice in the other room.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, there's no way. What's going on?
Right.
And so he goes in, he goes, wait, is that, what's going on here? She goes, oh, that's, General Hospital, that's Jason. And he goes, no, that's Cloud. So they had a bonding moment, which was very sweet because he was like, it meant so much to us. But it's like the mom and the kids. It's always the kids had no idea and the mom had no idea.
Right.
And now they're together at the convention going, oh, here you guys are. So
that's really cool.
But it's cool. It was a fun convention too.
But so somebody brought up Night Shift.
Someone brought up Night Shift. They go, yeah, we love Night Shift. And Night Shift was great, man.
It was cool. It was
a lot of fun.
It was characters that people already knew and liked, and then some new characters introduced, but it put them, the storytelling was slightly different, right?
Yeah.
And it put them in slightly different situations and looked a little bit different. Like they fleshed out. Remember they had more more exteriors, more money, but
more money.
But that was when they started doing like
that was one of the top rated cable TV shows too.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, within its corner or whatever.
I don't know, but I thought it did really well.
Well, you think
they did a second one without us.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, probably.
So,
but you think about, and I'm comparing numbers of TV shows, which shows are deemed successful versus I always thought it was interesting when you talk about like the audience for Breaking Bad, and then you talked about the audience daily for our show, General Hospital, and they're similar. And do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, that one is viewed as.
Are they?
What, in terms of numbers?
Yeah.
I think they were at some point.
At some point.
I
Sure.
But it was something like that where it was like there was a cable show that I really admired and was viewed as, so it might not have been Breaking Bad, so don't take my word for it, but there was a cable show that I really admired, and I think it was on like AMC or some cable network like that. And the world thought of it as really high level television. And so, maybe it was an episode of Mad Men or something. I don't know. It was something like that, right? And I was like, okay, well, we get the same ratings, and how come we don't get celebrated?
Well, no, but that's a good point, because for so long, when network TV was super prevalent, you'd have a pilot, right, like on NBC or something, that would get 5 million people watching.
Right.
Well, 5 million people watching on WB at the time was 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Pick up.
Right.
5 million on NBC at that time was not getting picked up.
Right.
So isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And there were shows that were network first and then went to something like WB, where they had a good audience.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything, about WB, but back then it was not a lot of people were watching it.
Right.
And if they got 3 or 4 million viewers, it was a hit.
Well, it's interesting because WB became CW, right?
CW, yeah.
Right. And even Fox, remember, came in as I don't want to say like.
Yeah, it was like fourth, fifth network.
A second, you had NBC, ABC, CBS, and then
And they
Fox
brought
was
Fox in, yeah.
right, and then
Yeah. 90210
U,
back then.
like UPN and WB and CW.
UPN, yeah.
They were all like the next tier.
Correct.
You know, and so that was always interesting. So they probably had different thresholds for what was successful.
They do. That's what I was saying about this is whatever the numbers were.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about back in the day, 10 to 15 million people a day were watching the show.
Yeah.
Like,
that's huge.
That's humongous numbers.
Right. Yeah.
So why, it's like, how do we like back then, how would you transfer that audience to nighttime, prime time?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you? I don't know. But then they go, why would we transfer it when it's a cash cow during the day?
Right. Don't fix it.
It was paying for the shows that couldn't pay for themselves. Right. That's what the rumor was back in the day, was the daytime for every network was such a cash cow.
Yeah.
It would, fund the 6th, 7th season of primetime shows that people were getting $1 million an episode.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Where you couldn't, you couldn't raise that money ad wise.
Right.
But
all right. Well, thank you for that question. All right. Oh boy. This is not a question Steve will answer. Steve, which love interest would you like Jason to reunite with?
This thing on?
Is this thing on? Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That one.
Is that one?
That one. Amazing. All right.
Is Britt around still?
Heyo. So what was your, so that was Sly Shots. Way to be Sly Shots. Cheryl W., what is your favorite Jason scene? I don't like, I mean, it's hard to pick. I mean, that's a tough one, right?
It's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
You can't pick, you can't. It's just so hard.
Well, because you always talk about how you enjoyed, the action scenes, obviously the challenge of doing highly emotional stuff. So yeah, it's hard to pick one. Yeah.
I can pick. Okay, so if I were to pick one,
yeah,
it was one of the times I left. I think it was in the late 90s maybe.
Oh yeah.
Maurice and I had a scene. I've said this before. Maurice and I hope to find this. I think I found it once on YouTube. Bill Udell directed the scene.
Oh, I missed that guy.
It was a 6-minute scene. It was in the back of a limo. It looked like a movie.
Wow.
It was just 2 shots.
Wow.
And then that's it.
Wow.
And it was just really cool.
Yeah.
I believe it was my last scene of the day when I left.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot around it emotionally, but it just really turned out super cool.
That's awesome. I love
if I can find that, yeah.
Yeah. Northern Gal 2020, hello. Steve loved your character Harris on Days. Plus loved your relationship with Tamara Braun. Awesome. Just pure natural chemistry. Agreed. So I'm not sure you can do this, but what character do you like playing best? Harris as a cop or Jason as a thug?
Well, I mean, look, this, for me, it's always great to play other characters, but there's no character like Jason Morgan. I mean, it's just, I get to do everything I love to do.
Yeah.
Beat people with this character. Like, this is the ultimate character for me to play. Is I can do action, do emotional stuff, do cool mob stuff, do our stuff,
fun, silly stuff.
Gets us on the road also. Like, it's just it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything for sure.
Totally.
All right. If acting hadn't worked out for us, what occupation would you have chosen? I don't know. I think I would have ended up some like in the service industry, like either like restaurant, hotels, wine. I love that.
It's hard to say for me because I believe all paths lead to now, and I don't necessarily think I would have been so necessarily into coaching or mindset coaching, right?
Sure, right.
So I think for me, definitely would have been, if I had a choice, well, I did have a choice, But if the path was different, real estate for sure,
Yeah.
100%.
This is from TLS 73. When I read this, also, what is your favorite and least favorite part of being an actor? I would say my favorite part is the relationships that you make, because you get
100%.
to meet so many different people, because you come in and out of opportunities and jobs, and there's different seasons of your life,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And when you meet people, you get thrust into emotional situations where you're part of a company, and so you get the opportunity to interact and connect with a lot of different people. What's your favorite thing? Because I have a very strong least favorite thing.
My favorite thing about it, I mean, it's always been the crew and the people and the cast, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just it. The work is fun.
Yeah.
Okay, to get paid to do what we do is amazing.
Yeah.
Right, but it's like any other job too, to some degree. There's days where it could be mundane, or
Right. Sure.
but for me, like just for example, coming back here, it just you're just reminded of such the great relationships that you have with people over the years for me, and it was just amazing. It was amazing coming back, man.
Yeah.
For that.
Um,
But then you do get to travel. Like we get to travel. Like I
Yeah.
love to travel.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much, and I'm going to travel a lot more. But for us to I always tell people that, you and I get to do 6 cities in 6 days, and we're just in a minivan,
Yeah.
and we just find a cool little coffee spot or a cool little restaurant, or
Yeah.
we just go check stuff out and
Explore.
and
Yeah.
it's that's really one of the coolest things about what we're able to do.
Yeah. I would say my least favorite thing about this career, and thinking about, I was just thinking this morning about, planning, and thinking about the security of my family and goals that I had for for my family and whatnot. And I think that's the one thing that is super challenging, and that's why we often tell people, this is a tough life. If you don't truly love it, look elsewhere. It is there Nothing is guaranteed, and there's nothing linear about it. Like there isn't a there if you're in a career, or you go to college, you go to
Yes.
grad school, and you become a master of something, and you build a career, and you build it, and the assumption is that the more you do it, the more success you'll have, and you'll build on your success, and build on your success, and build on your success. And that does not happen necessarily.
Yeah, it doesn't equate. The work that you put in doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bear fruit,
Right.
in this business.
Right.
Right. So, and that's not like other places.
No.
You know?
Like say you have great success from even.
But that's an art, though, don't you think? I mean, because if you look at it as a painter too, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're going to get paid.
No.
A musician doesn't mean you're going to get paid. So the
Right.
arts, you're choosing to do
Yeah.
something that's creative,
Right.
which I love, obviously. But yeah, that's a tough thing, because you can, have a good run for 4 or 5 years and then you're done.
Right.
Or you could, so it's like you always have to have, and I hate saying you have to have a plan B, because I believe you need to put everything into what you want to do.
Right.
But we have to have, common sense too,
Right.
going, hey, this
Right.
could end tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it does for people.
Oh yeah.
You know?
We are the minority in the sense of being on a show for however many years. Like most theater jobs are month, last for a couple months, if that.
Yeah.
TV shows months, or maybe a year or more if you're lucky. To be in a place like we have been for tens of years
Mhm.
is certainly the minority. Yeah. So I would say, because I like to be a bit of a planner. So that would be my least favorite part of it. But I've been very lucky, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a least favorite part, because I did choose to live far from work, so my drive.
Yeah.
So, but I chose that.
Yep.
So I got to go, hey, you chose it. Get in the car, drive, shut
Right.
your mouth.
That's right.
So,
Well, thank you guys for your questions.
Yes,
This is
thank you,
fun.
guys.
We always like answering your questions, because they're always great, and it always kind of launches us into conversations. And and thank you, buddy, for being such a good conversationalist. I don't know how we We're near 300 episodes.
I know, it's great.
The fact that we still have things to talk about is mind-boggling.
But that's what friends do.
I guess you're right.
You find something to talk about.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Make sure to go over to dailydrama.com, see what's happening over there. Get on the email list. We're still having a lot of fun on our Patreon page too. We go live over there. We do, Steve does a Monday check-in. I do a Thirsty Thursday. We do a bonus podcast over there. So there's a lot of places to connect with us, and we appreciate everywhere that we do get to connect with you. So
you guys are awesome.
be well, everybody. Bye.